determined to implement priorities not implemented in the past 5 years. And in sports, the national under-17 football team Serengeti Boys to start training in preparations for the AFCON Under-17 Championship. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Nasma Mwambe. Let's get started with the national news. The committee that was formed by the Regional Commissioner of Mbeya, Albert Chelamila, to investigate the cause of death of a lorry driver, Abdurrahman Isa Mohammed, who was recently seen in a video on social platforms being attacked by police officers, has revealed that the reason behind his death is pneumonia and not caused by a beating.
Kwa mujibu wa uchunguzi sasa uliofanywa na madaktari, chanzo cha kifo cha marehemu ni tatizo la upumuaji kutokana na homa kali ya mapafu, yaani kwa Kiingereza wanasema respiratory failure due to acute severe pneumonia.
According to investigation done by doctors, the cause of death was respiratory failure due to acute severe pneumonia. His body had not sustained any injuries or internal.
Drivers of lorries going out of the country through Tunduma border in Songo region did not organize their planned strike following differences between them and their owners, whereby lorries were seen on the road from 5 a.m.
We go through this every day, and this is our major challenge. Everything is calm, people should not be concerned, and drivers must continue to work. There will be no bother to them. As leaders, we work with drivers and the government and don't deal with any other unofficial business.
A day after traffic police force directed drivers in the country to stop inciting strikes and protests in the country for various reasons, including poor contracts between them and their employers, the drivers have been urged to look into better ways to claim for their rights.
After we had a meeting with the police and drivers union, it was agreed that it is not right to always go on strike. When drivers or union decide to go on strike, it is the last resort. The change was sudden and there was not enough time to organize ourselves.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has assured Parliament that the government is well prepared to implement all priorities that were not implemented in the first phase of President Dr. John Magufuli leadership, as well as the ones in this phase. Prime Minister made the statement when tabling the President's speech before being debated in the Parliament.
Napenda kulihakikishia bunge lako tukufu kwamba serikali imejipanga vizuri katika kuhakikisha kwamba inakamilisha utekelezaji wa vipaumbele vyote.
I assure your esteemed Parliament that the government is well prepared to ensure that it completes the implementation of key areas not completed in the last 5 years.
Na hotuba ya Rais ya tarehe 13 Novemba 2020 wakati akizindua bunge hili la 12.
Sasa serikali mpango wake ni kuhakikisha maji mengi yanafika kwa wananchi.
The government plans to provide water to people, and what we've suggested is to look at the cost to connect people.
Hotuba ya Rais kwetu imekuwa ni kama dira na mwelekeo.
This is like a compass on where the government is heading.
Earlier, Speaker of Parliament Job Ndugai introduced new members of Parliament who were sworn in out of Parliament, including 19 special seats MPs from Chadema and ACT Wazalendo parties, as well as those appointed by the President. President Dr. John Magufuli has called on courts and the Ministry of Constitutional and Legal Affairs to make changes in law and court systems inherited from the colonialists, which have led to rulings being delivered in English, which is not known by many Tanzanians. President Dr. John Magufuli said this today when swearing into office Zephyrin Galaba as judge in the Court of Appeals. The ceremony, which was held at the State House in Chamwino, Dodoma, which was attended by various leaders, including the Chief Justice, Professor Ibrahim Hamisi Juma, Minister of Constitutional and Legal Affairs, Mwigulu Nchemba, appeals court judges and stakeholders.
Niliamua kumtunuku Mheshimiwa Galeba ujaji wa mahakama ya rufaa kutokana na uthubutu na ujasiri alioonyesha wa kutumia lugha ya Kiswahili katika kuandika hukumu. Ninajua hata kwenye mahakama kuu alikuwa very junior, ni kijana.
I decided to nominate Honorable Galeba to be the referral judge from the bravery shown in using Kiswahili in writing sentences. He is young and I have chosen him so that he can further Kiswahili in referral judges.
Ili hichi kilichomsaidia kuwa jaji wa mahakama ya rufaa asikiachie huko kikawa kisingizio tu cha kupatia kazi, akawe chachu.
Mheshimiwa Rais, leo ni siku kubwa sana kwa maisha yangu na kwa familia yangu.
Honorable President, today is a big day for me and my family. It is something to thank God for. I commend you for giving me this high position in court.
The police force in Geita region is detaining 8 people alleged to have committed a robbery at a Mala fueling station at Buhalahala area in Geita Town Council, where they tied up all employees, stole cash and kidnapping a guard after stealing his gun.
Wateka walinzi waliokuwepo eneo la kazi pamoja na wafanyakazi wakawafunga kamba, wakafunga plasta midomoni.
They tied security guards and staff and gagged them. Then they broke doors and windows and into the safe, stealing money.
Miongoni mwa watuhumiwa hao wapo walinzi wawili wa kampuni ya ulinzi, kampuni binafsi ya ulinzi.
Amongst suspects are 2 guards who are stationed at the petrol station. They are the ones who came up with the master plan for the robbery.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Community Development, Gender, Elderly and Children, Professor Mwigulu Nchemba, has directed workers at Muhimbili Mloganzila National Hospital to follow service provision protocols when attending to patients, and also directed them to reassure patients at the public who believe that the hospitals have patients with coronavirus.
Sasa utamuona hapo ni kama mtu ana matatizo ya kupumua, lakini swala liko kwenye moyo.
Someone could have difficulties breathing, but it is related to heart problems, and it is not because of reasons reported in social media platforms.
Wagonjwa wenye maambukizi katika mfumo wa hewa tumewatengea wodi maalum ya uangalizi.
Patients with respiratory problems have been placed in a designated area.
41 illegal immigrants who are Ethiopian nationals have been arrested in Mwanga District, Kilimanjaro region in a cargo lorry after entering the country without following procedures while coming from neighboring Kenya en route to Malawi and South Africa.
The 41 Ethiopian nationals who used illegal routes were arrested in Kiroho, Mwanga district, as they were abandoned.
Tukio hili ilikuwa majira ya usiku wa saa 9 kasoro dakika 10.
The incident occurred at 3 a.m. and they were found abandoned. We were notified by local residents, and police on patrol went to the area of the incident and managed to arrest them.
Watu ambao wanaingia kwa njia za panya kama watu waliokamatwa hivi.
People who come in through illegal routes are a threat to national security.
And that is the end of the national news. International news comes next after the break. And in international news, The National Resistance Movement Party in Uganda will use 42 advocates who will represent President Yoweri Museveni in an election petition filed by opposition leader, singer turned lawmaker Bobi Wine, which wants the 14th January election results notified. Bobi Wine on Monday filed a challenge in the Supreme Court against President Yoweri Museveni's victory in the last month's election, claiming the poll was rigged. Voters did their work. The Electoral Commission facilitated the theft of election votes. The Commission did the worst job. And now we are giving time for the court to do its work and execute its mandate. U.S. President Joe Biden has threatened to reimpose a sanction on Myanmar following a coup by the country's military leader and called for a concerted international response to push them into relinquishing power. President Biden commended the military's takeover from the civilian-led government and its detention of the country's elected leader, Aung San Suu, as the directed assault on the country's transition to democracy and the rule of law. Now moving on to the next story, former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko will remain in police custody pending ruling on bail application on Thursday. The court directed that he be detained at the Girigiri police station. Appearing before a Kiambu court on Tuesday, Sonko denied several charges facing him, which includes assault, causing bodily harm, robbery with violence, and destruction of property.
Na mimi najua rais anahitaji maombi. Uhuru amenidhulumu, ameninyang'anya uongozi. Akitaka roho yangu pia achukue, lakini ukweli nitaongea.
The government of Burundi has started talks with the European Union aimed at reviving relations which damped when a political crisis broke out in 2015. Both sides have said that they are ready to start a new chapter in diplomatic relations. This was revealed during the talks held between the Minister of International Cooperation of Burundi, Ambassador Albert Shingiro, Ambassador of France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, and the EU representatives in Burundi. We should move forward together and let bygones be bygones. We know for a fact that what unites these countries is greater than what separates us. We don't have a reason to delay this dialogue. Our citizens are watching. And that is the end of international news. Business comes next after the break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
And in business news, Kasulu District Council in Kigoma region has come up with strategies aimed at reviving and developing commercial and food crops and enable farmers to grow surplus food as well as sell crops in the domestic and foreign markets. Palm oil tree is a priority in our municipal council. And on our side, the people of Kigoma must make sure that it becomes our backbone, together with the food crops. Entrepreneurs in Singida region have urged Tanzania Revenue Authority to make the taxpayer education campaign being implemented in the region sustainable, as it has enabled many understand the importance of tax compliance in bringing about rapid economic development. The TRA campaigns calls for patriotism in paying tax, and because they are not threatening the citizens and business people of Singida.
Hivyo nawaalika wafanyabiashara wa mkoa wa Singida kutoa ushirikiano kwa maafisa watakaotembelea katika ofisi zao.
I am asking the people of Singida to give a helping hand to the TRA officers so that they can understand what is it that they should do and their right in paying tax.
Nchi yoyote na taifa lolote lile, lakini hata na mkoa wa Singida.
Not even a country or a region can develop without paying tax. It is what feeds the whole country. Wheat farmers in Hanang District, Manyara region have expressed concern on delayed distribution of seeds with the government had pledged to give them, a situation they said will incur them losses as they are now near the end of the planting season. They promised to bring the seeds before Christmas season, but it has not been delivered up until today. This institution is not serious on the production, contrary on how the government wants. We know the government and it is ours, but it is very difficult to get it on time. We, the people living in the Rift Valley, we will be saddened if we won't receive the seeds before 10th. And that is the end of business news. Sports comes next after the break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose some length.
And in sports, the national under-17 football team Serengeti Boys will start their camp on 8th of February in preparations for the AFCON Under-17 Championship to be held in March this year in Morocco.
Tuna wachezaji 35. Tumeendelea mchujo. Tumeanza wiki iliyopita.
Right now we have 35 players. We are still filtering them. We started last week and we are proceeding with players from Mbeya who came the day before yesterday, some players from Morogoro, as well as Dar es Salaam. Players from Mwanza will get here tonight.
Yanga Sports Club has said they have invested enough to lift the 2020-2021 Mainland Premier League title. Here's more.
According to the club's registration officer, Hersi Said, the Jangwani Giants are hopeful of wresting the title from rival Simba Sports Club based on the level of investment they have done in the team. Said now insists the club is riding on 3 strong pillars for success, hence they feel their time has come to rule football in Tanzania. During the mini transfer window, Yanga moved to sign 3 players, Said Ntibazonkiza, Dickson Job and Fiston Abdul Razak. On signing for them, Razak promised the club's fans he will help them to win the Mainland Premier League this season.
Liverpool bolstered Jurgen Klopp's central defensive option on deadlines day with the signing of Oza Kabak from Charles and Ben Davies from Preston, only to lose Joel Matip for the rest of the season with an ankle ligament injury. Here's the story.
Premier League champions completed a loan move for Kabak with an option to buy the 20-year-old Turkey international for an initial £18 million in the summer, after gazumping Celtic with a £1.6 million deal for Davies. The 25-year-old would have been out of contract at Preston at the end of the season and was destined for Glasgow until Liverpool moved in with an upfront payment of £500,000 plus £1.1 million in bonuses. The Championship club will also receive 20% of a future sell-on fee for the left-sided central defender, who had loan spells at York, Tranmere, Southport, Newport and Fleetwood before establishing himself in Preston's first team. As part of the deal, Liverpool's 19-year-old Dutch defender Sepp van den Berg has gone to Dipdale on loan. Late on Monday, Takumi Minamino, the Japanese forward, joined Southampton on loan until the end of the season, while Saints' Shane Long headed along the south coast to Bournemouth on loan until the end of the season. Meanwhile, Shkodran Mustafi has left Arsenal for Schalke, while Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Joe Willock have both joined Premier League clubs on loan, completing a significant reconfiguring of Mikel Arteta's squad over the winter transfer window. Maitland-Niles will spend the rest of the season at West Bromwich Albion after stalling over a move to Southampton, and Willock has signed a temporary deal at Newcastle. Both players aim to show Arteta they have a place in his long-term plans, but the picture was always going to be different for Mustafi, whose contract was up at the end of the season with little prospect of renewal. In the end, Mustafi's deal was terminated early, allowing a move to the Bundesliga's bottom club on a 6-month deal. He will replace the new Liverpool signing Ozan Kabak and joins Sead Kolasinac, who signed for Schalke on loan from Arsenal in January. And Dele Alli has been retained by Tottenham despite the offer of a loan deal from Paris Saint-Germain, while it has emerged that Giovanni Lo Celso will be out for at least a further 3 weeks because of a hamstring injury. Lo Celso was forced off during the 2-0 home defeat against Leicester on 20th of December, and it has been clear for some time that the problem is complicated. Jose Mourinho is now resigned to being without the midfielder for the majority of this month, and the fear is that it could be longer than that. Lo Celso's injury was a factor in Spurs' reluctance to loan out Ali, as was the difficulty in signing a replacement for him during the mid-season window. Mourinho has not relied upon Ali this season, starting him in only one Premier League game, the opening weekend defeat by Everton, when he substituted him at half-time.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. Thank you for watching and good night.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.